Here's a GRE algebra question. Let's take a look. If x is less than y is less than 0, which of the following numbers must be negative? And we want to select all that apply. That means that one or more could be correct here. Well, anytime I'm dealing with inequalities, I personally like to draw a number line. It's a pretty advanced technology, right? 0, y, and x. So just looking at this, I can say that y is a negative number and x is a negative number that's even more negative than y. So let's take a look at these answer options here. X minus y. Well, let's assign a value. Why don't we just say this is negative 2 and this is negative 1. Negative 2 minus negative 1 is the same thing as negative 2 plus 1, and that stays negative. But the question is, will it always be negative? Because that's what the question is asking. Which of the following must be negative? Well, the answer is yes. Because as long as x is below y, its negative will outweigh what we're adding, right? So even if this were negative, I don't know, 1.1, if we do negative 1.1 minus minus 1, we're not getting past 0, right? So this one is always true, right? Cannot be false. How about this one? Negative 2 squared is 4 minus negative 1 squared. Well, that's 4 minus 1. That's 3. Right there, I have a positive case. So that's out, right? How about negative 2 times negative 1? Same thing. That immediately produces a positive number, so I know it doesn't have to be negative. Okay? X squared, negative 2 squared, that's positive 4 times negative 1. Okay. Well, the question, though, is will this always be negative? And the answer is yes. Here's why. X squared will always be a positive number, right? Some negative number squared is always going to be a positive number. If I multiply that by a negative, it's going to be a negative. So that one is always negative. Almost there. Okay. X squared times y plus x times y squared. Let's use our test first and then see if we can extrapolate a more general statement. Negative 2 squared is positive 4 times negative 1. So that we already know that this is negative, right? That's a negative number. And this x times y squared is going to be the same deal, right? Y squared is going to be positive and x itself is going to be negative. So I'm adding a negative to a negative, which produces a negative. Correct answers here are A, D, and E.